Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I just woke up and got washed up. I'm about to get dressed and eat some breakfast, and then I have to hop on a really quick Zoom call, and then we are just going to see what else lies in store today. We're planning to go to the hospital and help out with laundry. There's no laundry here. Like, we have to go to a laundromat that's across the street, but there is laundry at the hospital, so my mom wanted me to come and help out do laundry there. And then that's pretty much our plan. So I'm not really sure what else we're going to be doing today. I don't know if I'm going to go and exploring some more or not. It doesn't seem like super rainy today. Like, it's a little wet outside, but not completely wet. So I don't know, maybe I'll do some exploring. Also, last night, I don't know if I mentioned this, but last night there was like a really big power outage because when I was driving home, we were going through the part of the city that was like super dark, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, why are there no street lights on? Then I realized like the crosswalk lights weren't even on either. And then we finally got to the part like where my Airbnb was, and it did have power. So I was like, okay, so some of the city lost power is what I'm hearing. And then I kept seeing it all over the news that part of San Francisco lost power. So I was like, I already knew that, but anyways, so that's going to be our plan for now. So I'm going to finish getting dressed, hop on my Zoom call, eat some breakfast, and then I'll come back on after. Hey all, I am back and I'm done with my Zoom call finally. It took us a little longer than anticipated because we were having some difficulties, but now I think I'm just going to hang around. I'm going to eat some lunch pretty soon, and then I'll probably head over to the hospital because I think my mom wants me to bring some leftovers to her for lunch. So yeah, I think that's going to be our plan for today. And I'm probably going to end up combining videos again because I think my video from yesterday is probably really short. And it can be like a cool first few days in San Francisco vlog. But we'll see. I'm going to see today how much footage I have and then decide if I want to combine or not. Okay, I just exported the footage to my laptop. And I do think I have enough to make a decent video from yesterday. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to start editing, eat lunch, and then probably head over to the hospital. I know I don't have a lot of footage that's fun and entertaining for the hospital. I just don't want to film while I'm there. I'm probably going to spend most of the rest of the day there. So that's going to be... Hazel just fell from the windows. She's so silly. That's going to be our plan for today. So I'm going to go do that and I'll come back on at some point tonight. It probably won't be until the end of the day, unfortunately, but I'll try and get some footage of like the scenes and like, I don't know, driving around. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I'll be back. Hey y'all, I am back from the hospital now. We did not end up doing laundry, but we just kind of hung out for a few hours. But I was able to bring up these suitcases that my mom and sister brought. My mom has like a set of 3, like, what's it called? You know that thing where, Russian nesting dolls. She has like a set of 3 nesting doll suitcases, which I also have, and my sister has. We each have them in our respective colors, red, purple, and pink. And so she brought 3 of them with both of their stuff in it, and I took 2 of them here with me. And I left the carry-on so that they can kind of use that to pack up all the stuff from the hospital tomorrow, because she's supposed to be getting discharged tomorrow. So that's exciting, but it also means it's my last night in the bed, which is so sad, but it's okay. And so I am going to unpack all the stuff that I brought back in the tote bag. Not going to touch their suitcases because I think it's mostly dirty clothes, so we'll have to go to the laundromat at some point and do all of that. So we're just going to hang out in the apartment and kind of chill, so that will be fun. We were also contemplating going to see the Nutcracker put on by the San Francisco Ballet because it's going on until the 28th, so we might do that. My mom said something about like some lightscape thing, and then yeah, I'm not really sure what else there is, but we'll also have to see like how much Maya's up for too, because also she pretty much walker dependent right now, so we'll have to see like what we can do that's accommodating to that. So I'm going to hang out for a bit and unpack the tote bag, and then we're gonna chill, and then I'm gonna do Advent before I go to bed as always. So that's gonna be my plan, so I will see you all in a little bit. Okay y'all, it is the end of the night, so let's do our Advent container and then go to bed. Also, I definitely think I'm gonna combine this with tomorrow's video because I don't have a lot of footage. which is what I thought about yesterday's video, but then yesterday I ended up having enough footage, so. Right, we have a little snowman head. It's crazy to think. This is how many nights left until Christmas. 3 nights left. That's crazy. Which means the summer's almost over too. Also crazy. Here's Hazel's pull tonight. Alright, that is it for Advent. Also, if you couldn't tell by the first couple videos, this table is really high and she still managed to jump up on it to get her Advent treat. I would have put them on the ground, but she wanted to be up high with me, huh? Alright, we're gonna go to bed and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Good morning, everyone. It is Monday and it is so close to Christmas, which is so exciting. I just washed up, so I'm gonna finish getting dressed. And we are actually gonna go to the post office because one of my friends texted me a last minute address. I did happen to bring the extra Christmas cards with me, like just a couple, but I did not bring any of my extra envelopes or stamps. So we're going old school today and buying an envelope there and then buying a stamp there and like mailing it and all that jazz. And then we're gonna run to the store because I realized there's no dish soap here and there's no dishwasher and I want to be able to wash dishes while we're here. And then there are a couple more things like personal toiletry items that I didn't realize I am running low on that I want to pick up as well. And then whenever we get called to go over to the hospital, that's what we're gonna do so we can help move out and discharge my sister. And then we'll all be back here in the Airbnb together. And I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. They're probably gonna be tired, so they're probably gonna wanna rest for a little bit. And then hopefully we'll look into buying the Nutcracker tickets. I also just saw a video for San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus or something like that. And they just did like a K-pop Demon Hunters version of like Reindeer Christmas song, but I don't know if trying to go see both is like too much. So maybe picking one over the other, but I'm gonna bring it up to them and see what they think about it. But yeah, that's gonna be our plan for today. Also, last night I was taking out my earring and I lost the earring back, but it is so small and clear and it fell right in the area where Hazel's litter box is. And when she leaves the litter box, she like drops litter all over the floor, which I do vacuum, but it's just hard to look for something that's small and clear when it's mixing with all the litter. I used my flashlight twice last night and once this morning, but I really couldn't find it. So it's just going to be lost into the ether, but that's okay, isn't it? Yeah, backs of earrings are pretty easy to replace and reuse. And here's Miss Loaf. You love it here, don't you? I guess she's camera shy. Alright, well, I'm gonna finish getting dressed and I'll see you all later. Hey y'all, I'm back now. I ran or walked. I don't know. Everyone always says I'm running some errands, but you're not really running, you know? So, like, I did run to the store, but I didn't really run to the store. I walked to the store, but I got what I needed, except as soon as I came back, I realized that I forgot 2 things, but they're like unimportant things. The other stuff was more important, so if I happen to remember them again, I will pick them up. But anyways, I just ate some lunch. I had some leftovers, and now I'm about to head over to the hospital. They're hoping that she will be out soon. They're just waiting for a couple of things, so hopefully we will get discharged soon. And then I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure what else we got planned the rest of the day, But yeah, that's pretty much our plan. So I'm gonna head over to the hospital and I'll be back. Okay, y'all, I am finally back from the hospital and you are not going to believe the day that we have had. As you can tell, maybe, I'm here by myself still. So I went to the hospital to meet up with them. They were so close to being discharged. Like, she was unhooked from everything. My mom had gotten the medications, like literally everything. And then my sister started complaining about having trouble walking. So we got occupational therapy and physical therapy to come down, take a look, and they decided that they really wanted her to stay an extra day to kind of work on that walking that she was feeling a little wobbly about. We also shared details of the Airbnb, telling them that there's no elevator and 2 flights of stairs. And with her walking, it was really hard for them to kind of want her to discharge without any stair practice. So they ended up taking her on a walk and doing some stair practice at the hospital. So they wanted to keep her overnight. While all of this was going on, we were looking at, taking the walker home with us versus not, buying a walker, getting a wheelchair, getting a bedside toilet, like all this stuff. And we have all of this in Texas. We have like 2 walkers, because I had a walker when I was in the hospital, a wheelchair, a bedside potty, a toilet chair, like everything. But the problem is we're not in Texas right now, and they're not going to go back to Texas till mid-January, and they kind of need all this stuff now. So we were dealing with all of that in the hospital while also trying to figure out if there were any alternative forms of places that we can stay that is more accessible for her, such as a place with an elevator as opposed to stairs. And with such a last minute booking, plus the length of stay, plus the fact that I have a cat, it made things really difficult for us to find a place to stay. We did find one, but they are dogs only, which is weird. Like, a lot of the places I was finding that were pet friendly on their website said dogs only, and I was like, there's no way. But apparently it's true, and I do think it's because dogs are slightly easier to clean up after because you take them outside to go to the bathroom, whereas cats use a litter box and the litter can kind of get everywhere. Oh my gosh, she just made such a stinky poop while I'm talking. Anyways, so like I can kind of see, but the hotel was like, just call back tomorrow. Maybe the general manager will make an exception. And then the other places we were finding that allowed cats were just really expensive and out of budget, and we wouldn't be able to get a refund on this Airbnb. Then we were playing around with the idea of like my mom and sister staying somewhere separate than me, and me and Hazel would just stay here. And we were talking to the social worker about, things that we could do. And so there is something called Family House. I believe it's similar to like a Ronald McDonald House, which if you don't know what that is, Ronald McDonald House is a house, like dorm or hotel style living, that's usually near a hospital, specifically near a children's hospital. And families who have children who are staying there and are from out of state or out of town can apply to live at the Ronald McDonald House, and they can live there and be close by to their kids. And I actually volunteered there a couple of times in high school, but they have Ronald McDonald houses in a lot of cities. Like there's one in Ann Arbor even. So Family House, I believe, is something very similar to that, but it's like for UCSF, the children's hospital, where families can stay there if they have kids who live in the hospital and need a lot of like follow-up appointments. Because the reason why they're staying until mid-January is because my sister is going to have a lot of follow-up appointments. So we wanted to kind of stay somewhere close by. And the problem with the hotels is that we would have also had to rent a car because they're a little bit farther away and it's less easy to Uber or Lyft or try to take public transit. So the social worker was nice enough to ask about Family House and see if they're able to get my mom and sister in. It is not pet friendly, so Hazel and I would just stay at this Airbnb by ourselves. Problem was that the reason why we couldn't get in it before was because my sister's not technically a child. She's in a children's hospital because the type of cancer she has tends to be found most commonly in children. So the clinical trial is done at a children's hospital, and all of her treatments in Texas have been through children's hospital. So because she's 22, she's literally not even a child, which I can't believe she's 22. She did not qualify for Family House when they originally were looking for accommodations. But the social worker said that she asked around to see if they can make any sort of exception given the circumstances of her walking plus the Airbnb. So we will see what happens tomorrow, but the discharge definitely took a turn. Things were pretty stressful and just trying to figure out like what was going to happen next. But she's in the hospital still, but she's not hooked up to any kind of IV. She hasn't changed back into a hospital gown, which I think will be totally up to her. So she's pretty much all discharged except for the fact that they just want her to stay so that she can work on her walking and practicing going upstairs. Luckily, there is handrails for these stairs, but I think they want to make sure she's stable enough to where like she doesn't fall and then one of us also falls. And so we're kind of seeing how that's going to go. And also like, well, we have 2 people here versus when I go back to Michigan and there's only just her and my mom, like how they're going to navigate stairs that way. So yeah, that's pretty much the situation we've been dealing with. And I offered to reach out to the Airbnb person to see if there's anything that they can do, but we don't want to do that yet until we can kind of figure out, you know, alternative forms of lodging. So I'm still here by myself. I get another night to myself. Well, I might get more than one night to myself. But yeah, so we're hoping that she can officially discharge tomorrow. It seems like the team like really wants her to be able to leave the hospital. But she's been really enjoying just staying in the hospital, playing her ukulele. She had some music therapy last week while she was here, and they taught her how to play the ukulele, and she's trying to master Riptide. So she's been playing a ton of ukulele and Riptide. Yeah, that is pretty much what's been going on, what's been happening. That San Francisco Gay Men's course I mentioned earlier, I brought it up to my mom and sister. The tickets were very cheap for getting seats on the end of a row and close enough to the stage that we're gonna go, and it's Christmas Eve, 7 p.m. So I'm really excited for that. And we are still gonna go see the Nutcracker. So I feel like we're gonna have a better shot of getting tickets after Christmas because I feel like people aren't gonna really see it that much after Christmas. We just have to avoid the very last show because I feel like that one's probably going to be more crowded. So I'm really excited for that. I'm not sure how much exploring and stuff we're going to be able to do, especially because of all the walking and things like that. But we're definitely going to try while we're here. And they're staying here a little bit longer than me, so they might be able to get some other touristy things in before I have to go back to Michigan. I'm gonna go chill because I got home a little bit earlier than today. I got free dinner at the hospital. They do like dinner for families on weekdays. And then I came home pretty soon after that. And because their discharge ended up staying an extra day, I just did Uber Courier for the first time, which is really interesting because it's kind of like DoorDash, but not really DoorDash because you can basically send or receive items through Uber, through an Uber driver, and you can track their delivery and give the person the contact information and the code of who's receiving the delivery. So that was really cool. I didn't know we could do that, but because they're staying an extra night, my mom needed some medication, so I couriered it, and I thought that was pretty cool. So anyways, I'm going to just hang out here and chill, maybe play some games or watch a movie or something. Then I'll come back on and do Advent, and today is also my shower day, so I'll probably end up taking a shower at some point, and yeah. That's pretty much our plan for the rest of the night. I did bring a book with me. I brought 2 books with me actually, thinking that I would read because I'm doing my, 2025 reading challenge. But lately I've just been not in the reading mood or reading mindset, but maybe I'll read. I brought it to the hospital with me, but honestly I just ended up like watching shows and movies and stuff and playing video games. But I don't know, reading is good for the mind, so maybe I'll try and do some more reading. But anyways, that's gonna be our plan for tonight. So I'm going to go, and then I'll be back later tonight to do Advent. It is the end of the night, which means it's time for Advent, but I actually forgot to show you this earlier. I picked this up at the hospital. In the family lounge they had these little bags, and it was 2 per family, so my sister got one too. They just put together these like little holiday gift bags for family members. So inside we have a little scarf. We have this red beanie, some chocolates, some fuzzy socks, some hand cream, shower steamer, and lip balm. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I was a little worried that it'd be like child size, but it's 2 per family, so I think it's gonna fit. Yeah. One size fits all. Oh my god, I look bald with this on. Alright, anyways, let's do Advent so I can take a shower and start going to bed. Okay, today's chocolate is a little squirrel. Someone can tell me why squirrels are Christmassy / Advent-y. I'd love to know. We're gonna give her cubes. Alright, well, that is it for Advent. So I hope you enjoyed the video from the last 2 days. I know it was kind of a long one because I had to do a lot of talking, but hopefully tomorrow she will be discharged and we can get on with some holiday festivities. But until then, I'm sleepy, so I'm going to get ready for bed, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!